take it, Mike. Take the intro.
I'm comfy. Smart Boys, episode 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while. It's raining. It's cold. It's got shit to talk about. What do you want to talk about?
Well, we've been gone for a minute for the most part of October.
It's been a busy month.
It's been a busy month. We can say that.
I was out of the country.
He did what a lot of people did when Trump was elected. That he moved to Canada, but then they said that's not a good reason to be here. No. So you need to go back.
Yeah. No.
I swear to God. Every fucking time.
It's nonstop. Jamie says hi.
Hello.
He can't hear you. Well, I was in Canada, and let me tell you, fuck the Toronto airport.
What's wrong with it?
Alright. So, I had 3 flights to get up there because it was a cheap trip. I flew from St. Louis to Toronto to Ottawa, and then Ottawa to Halifax. Mm-hmm. And when I got to Toronto, basically, they made me go through customs there, and that was a whole shit show. They didn't even ask me anything. They literally were like, they had me like do my passport thing, and then some guy just looked at my picture and he was like, okay, you can go. And I was like, oh, well, alright. But for whatever reason, I had to leave the secured area, and then I had to go back through security to get onto my other flight, and there was probably 200 people in line for security, and they had one fucking machine going. They had 3 machines total. Well, they actually had like 9. Only 3 of them were running. One of them for people who had the express thing, the
fast pass.
The fast thing. One for just everybody else like me, and then one where they were sending people if they got like pulled out of line to like get their finger swab or shit. They were going through their own.
Okay.
But I was literally in fucking line for security for an hour and a half.
Okay.
And they had one fucking metal detector going, and then of course the second that I get up to the damn thing, they already opened up 3 other ones. So I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, they just saw you, and they're like, this is going to slow everything down.
But I had the worst fucking first flight out of St. Louis. It was an hour and a half long flight. I had my window seat. And of course, I mean, I'm a big dude.
Yeah.
The guy who was sitting next to me, he must have weighed, and I kid you not, 450 pounds.
Okay.
Big fucking dude, right?
Yeah, big dude.
Sitting next to me.
Okay.
It's like, fuck, alright, I can handle that. Not only was a big fucking dude sitting next to me, behind me was... Actually, was this a flight out of Toronto? It doesn't matter what flight it was. Behind me was a woman with not only a newborn baby, but a toddler.
I was going to ask something, because I don't know how much you weigh, but you said that guy who looks like 40
I probably weigh, last time I got weighed, I was like 275.
Okay. Isn't that a safety hazard to have heavier set guys on the same side of the plane?
I don't know why nobody was like, hey, you're 2 pretty big dudes. Do you want to switch?
Because usually in that situation they say, hey, we need to distribute the weight. So you gotta go over
I just felt bad for the dude because he just looked so uncomfortable, and I was like, I'm sorry.
Was he a heavy breather? Just going...
No, but his shirt kept coming up.
Oh.
And he needed a seatbelt extender, and he just did not look like he was having a good time.
Too fat to fly.
Too fat to fly. So, sitting next to big fat dude, woman with toddler and baby behind me. Toddler kept kicking a fucking seat. Baby kept fucking crying.
Baby kept fucking...
And of course, the fucking bitch sitting in front of me decides to lean her chair back during the flight.
Yeah.
So I'm crammed up against the window, trying to not elbow this dude in his belly, with this woman right in my face and a baby kicking me, and I was like, this is fucking hell. This is legit my hell. Because I hate flying.
Yeah.
I hate traveling. And everything that could have gone wrong, except for the plane crashing, went wrong.
I've only flown twice. And
what?
Yeah.
Where?
To and from New York. And I enjoyed it. I mean, for the most part. The airport situation is always awful. Of just standing there and being like, well, you gotta be here for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, other than traveling...
How was Canada?
How was Canada?
Oh, it was delicious.
It was delicious?
Yeah,
Did you eat a lot of food?
Dude, I had so much poutine.
Poutine?
I love poutine.
Nice.
Do you know what poutine is?
I'm trying to remember. I've heard of it.
It's basically French fries with gravy.
Yeah, that's it.
And then cheese curds.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, and fuck Tim Hortons, by the way.
What's wrong with Tim Hortons?
Okay. So we were at his aunt's cottage. It is in like Bumblefuck, Canada.
Yeah.
Like it's in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we go into town. This little town called Middleton. Literally, the grocery store is like the size of a basketball court, and that's the only grocery store.
That's cool.
They had a Tim Hortons. If our listeners don't know what Tim Hortons is, it used to be a place like a Dunkin' Donuts, where they'd sell coffee and donuts, and that's pretty much all they did. Now they got bought out by the same company that I think owns Burger King. So now they're trying to make it into like a fast food joint, where they have like sandwiches and shit. So we go to Tim Hortons. I say, can I please get the largest iced coffee you have? And then I wanted to try one of their sandwiches. So I was like, let me get that. It was called like a triple meat sandwich. It was like a BLT.
Okay.
She's like, all right. And then Jamie was like, he ordered, I don't know, he didn't get a coffee, but he also ordered a sandwich meal. And he got this fried chicken one, like a chicken patty sandwich.
Yeah, like a crispy chicken.
5 minutes later, bitch comes. She's like, I'm sorry. He ordered no mayonnaise because he hates mayonnaise.
Okay.
So she was like, I'm sorry, we only have one loaf of bread, like one bread left.
One whole bread.
Like one sandwich, like 2 slices of bread left in the whole fucking store.
Okay.
She's like, do you mind if we put your sandwich on a bagel? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And so she's like, what bagel do you want? I was like, sesame. So she starts to like make my sandwich, comes back like another minute or two later, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, we're actually out of the meat that we need for your sandwich. Would you like another sandwich? And I was like, give me a fucking fried chicken sandwich then. She's like, okay. So she starts to make Jamie's, and he's watching her, and she squirts fucking mayonnaise all over the one piece of bread left. And he's like, well, they fucked that up too. And so he was like, I said no mayonnaise. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. And he was like, well, he just gave me the sandwich. And he said to ask for his money back on the bagel sandwich, because she was just making it like a fucking psychopath. Like, it was all over the place. She's like, well, I already started making it. And Jamie was like, I don't care. It's like, I want my money back. So I ended up eating his chicken sandwich that had mayonnaise on it, and he got nothing. Oh, no. Fuck Tim Hortons. And then I went to another Tim Hortons back in Halifax, and I said, excuse me. He said, what? And I said, can I please get the largest iced coffee? Oh, yeah. They fucking gave me hot coffee.
Okay.
So I go to this other Tim Hortons when we're back in town. I go, can I please have the largest iced coffee you got? She's like, yeah, no problem. And 2 minutes later, she comes back. She's like, we're actually out of iced coffee. I was like, the fuck, Tim Hortons?
What's going on with Tim Hortons?
I don't know. Apparently, it's been
I
real
thought that was
shitty.
a Canadian staple. Why is it
Not
way
even,
out of
no.
shit?
I got proof. I got proof people are hating it. I talk to Canadians on a daily basis.
Okay. So you got factual evidence that Tim Hortons is now like going to shit. So what I'm gathering here is the big corporate Americans, they came in, they're like, Tim Hortons, and we want to make you at every single fucking block. And they fucked it up.
Okay. So also while I was up there, it was Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And at the bear house, which is where Jamie lives, a bunch of bears, had a big party. We ended up staying outside on the like patio. Mm-hmm. And apparently some dude showed up who was not invited. He was dressed as a mouse.
Okay.
And they had to kick him out of the party because he was drunk and nobody knew who the fuck he was, but there was just a random mouse there.
So just a random drunk dude showed up and he's
because there's another apartment underneath the bear house that he was trying to get to, so he would have just went to the wrong place. But like he came in and like wasn't talking to anybody, and everyone was like, "Who is this fucking guy dressed up as a mouse?" And they asked him, they were like, "Do you know anybody who lives here?" He couldn't name anybody who lived there. They asked him if he was gay, because it was a gay party, and he goes, no. And they're like, yeah, you're not supposed to be here. So
okay, that's fine.
I had to walk him out. I smell wine. Is that your wine?
I'm drinking wine.
Is it a Merlot?
Yeah.
What's it called?
What was it called? Fuck. I don't have the bottle with me.
It's called fuck, I don't have the bottle with me.
It's like roe something. Ramba.
Like fish roe?
I can grab the bottle. Let me just fucking grab the bottle. Add to the dead air.
I'm not going to add to the dead air. What I'm going to say is, Donovan is here. He's a cat. And he just walked out on me.
Rombauer. Don't know what language that originated from. It's a 2013 vintage Merlot. It's a family owned and operated since 1980. Let me read the back here.
Please do.
Okay, I'm not, because there's a lot of words I can't pronounce. Okay. Caneros is ideally suited for exceptional Merlot. Caneros, I think, is the location this wine was produced.
That's some bullshit.
Its cool climate and dominance of clay That's a reference to Crimson Peak, the Guillermo del Toro film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Crimson Peak.
I saw that shit.
Yeah.
It was bad.
I liked it.
It was alright.
I changed my opinion based on what other people think. A key soil component in regions where the world's most revered Merlot is grown. That's in reference to the clay. Let me go let my Donovan out. In the meantime,
Mr. Donovan. Let me see this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Am I gonna spill my own drink? Government warning: according to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages. Period. Contains sulfites. Did you know that?
Did you say, according to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages?
It says it right here. Government warning. One, according to
Let
the
me see
Surgeon
this. Let me
General.
see this. Well, goddamn. Women? That's actually what it says.
It also says while pregnant.
Oh, okay.
That's actually what it says.
That's actually what it says.
Women.
What if you rubbed out the rest? You'd just be like, the Surgeon General says
Surgeon General
women
said
should not
women-
be drinking alcohol.
I mean, that is wine. Am I right?
It's wine.
Is it red wine?
This is red wine.
Okay, so that is the blood of Jesus Christ.
This is the blood of Jesus Christ.
Who are women to think that it's okay for them to drink that?
They are just
Right.
the audacity.
Men!
The audacity.
Men.
Jesus was a man. Can I get a Hail Mary? Can I get an Amen? Let's see. Allows the variety of the finest qualities to emerge: rich, silky textures, supple tannins, and an affinity for food. This is in reference to. We use
What would you pair that with?
We use gentle cellaring techniques to preserve the fresh fruit, aging the wine in small French oak barrels,
That's gay.
and selecting our final blend from the best lots.
French.
They have to try every single ounce, spit it back out, and put it in a bottle just to make sure it's right.
Like,
Like all of our wines, this Merlot is a reflection of our belief that the joy of wine lies in the pleasure of sharing it with family and friends. Hashtag when you're here, your family.
Is there really a
Olive
hashtag
Garden-
on there?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, God damn.
Wine doesn't have to try to be
I don't
modern.
like wine.
I like wine.
I like white wine.
I like wine in general. Wine kind of impresses me as a general idea of, like, it is one of the...
It's such a scam, though.
It's really not,
It's
though.
such a scam.
I think there's some, like, premium alcohols that are
you're
a bigger
liar
scam.
with a
Listen,
filthy mouth.
the art of wine is to be respected, and if you are not ready to respect art, you shouldn't...
Can I tell you something?
participate. What's up?
You better have Nikes on your lips. The way you run your mouth.
Oh, I was about to say, I'm like, where are you going with that? Nike's on my lips.
Bottoms up, bitches.
Bottoms up.
Are you gonna kill that bottle?
I mean, there's not.
I
much
mean,
left.
really. You know, when they say
Which-
you're pregnant.
You ruined the ASMR moment.
Don't talk to me about my ASMR. Can I get a little swish? Oh, you can't really hear it.
Hold on, you can kind of hear it in the microphone. Okay, let
No,
me get a
take
good slurp.
Get the nasal. You didn't get the nodes for the nasal. You have to smell it. You have to let the wine aerate.
You're ruining this.
That's what my mom always says.
Okay, enough about wine. I mean, I like wine. What do you think of wine besides hating it? What do you like more?
Look, if it's got booze in it, I'll drink it.
I mean, if
I don't really.
I'm gonna get
If
drunk.
someone's like, "Here's a bottle of wine. Do you want it?"
What if somebody's
I'm not
like,
gonna be
here's a
"Nah."
bottle of wine, or here's a bottle of tequila?
Oh, tequila.
There you go.
I love tequila.
What are you gonna do about, like, when you're, like, 45 and still drinking tequila and you got no more hair?
I'm already losing my hair. Dude, I've been looking into like hair transplants and shit.
Dude, why are you worried about it?
Because I might have the silky hair of a god.
But you can go bald and be like,
I know,
look at
I've
me.
been told bald is beautiful.
And bald is beautiful.
I'm more concerned about my gray beard.
Why? I thought that was like, people thought that was
They
attractive.
do.
Well,
But
why
I
are
don't.
you...
I'm young.
Here's
I'm
the
only
real
16 years old.
question. You're only 16 years old.
I'm 16 years young.
Yeah, 16
Holy
years
shit.
What, you just saw how young you were?
No, I got a lot of.
Oh, a lot of snaps and a lot of chats.
I'm real popular, people.
Okay.
I don't know if people.
How's
know
your LinkedIn doing? You got 1,000 followers yet?
on LinkedIn?
On LinkedIn?
My name is actually Linkton.
LinkedIn.
He's
R.I.P. Linkin Park lead singer
oh.
Chester Bolster. What was his name?
Chester
Bennington.
Bennington? Chester Bennington? Was it?
Chester Borenstein. What else in the world of life and other things can we talk about? We can talk about...
I am at fucking Fox and FX.
Oh, why is that?
Because they're taking Always Sunny off Netflix.
Are they trying to do like their own streaming service shit? And that's why they're doing that?
Fucking...
Or does this have to do with the Disney buyout that's been rumored?
Dude, Disney's taking this shit off Netflix too next year.
Yeah, because they're gonna have their own streaming service, which is okay. Let's talk right now, and about that topic. It is topical.
Okay.
Recently, and as in recent, I mean today, recording this, there's news that Disney's in talks of buying out most of 20th Century Fox's IPs. So it's almost like a almost buyout. I think they're probably going to keep their sports division. They're looking for more of the entertainment properties.
From what I've read recently, as of today, Fox is shopping X-Men back to Marvel. Mm-hmm. So hopefully.
But is this just news wrapped in the Disney buyout thing?
I don't know.
Because it sounds like that's kind of just an extension of that. But what I was going to say is, Disney's been in the talks for their own streaming service for a while and have been making moves because they've already pulled plenty of their content from Instant Access and Netflix and like DirecTV and stuff like that. So they'll have their new shit on there just to get the money, but they're not keeping it a while. Like, especially on Netflix, most of their content has been taken off. So they've been talking their own streaming service a while. So what would you think if next year or later this year, or whenever this buyout happens, it takes a while for that stuff to process, they launch their, let's say, $10 or $12 a month streaming service, and it has all that shit, all the Marvel movies, all the Star Wars movies, and on top of that, FX original programming.
I don't know. I mean, look. It's just so frustrating. I don't even pay for my own Netflix. I don't know why I'm bitching that much.
Don't you own the seasons? Kind of. I was going to say...
Kind of.
I
do. I have a box somewhere.
I don't know, it's just the way I've grown up, is just like when people freak out like, oh, they're taking this on Netflix. Like there was a fake rumor going around that they're taking Office off Netflix, and people were freaking out like, I watch it every night. What am I going to do now? It's like, fucking just download it.
Well,
like you can buy it on iTunes.
Is willing to break the law.
Okay, but I just said you can buy it on iTunes. If you watch it that much, that is a constant thing in your life, and you always fucking every night you watch 2 episodes. If you can't invest $40 or $60 or however much it costs to own it digitally for something you're gonna use forever, what's wrong with you?
I just need my. I need my Always Sunny, or also have to watch other stuff.
I need to watch Michael Scott say racist things, but he not really racist.
You know who you sound like?
Who?
That retarded kid from South Park.
Jimmy Ballmer?
No, the other one. Mimsy.
Oh.
Mimsy. Mimsy.
What's his name?
What was his name? I love that episode.
The Tally one?
Yeah. I love that episode.
Just Jimmy won't win the race because he's gonna find a black mamba in his canoe.
His name is...
And then he finds a black mamba. Mimsy!
You know what his name is?
What is it?
Nathan.
That's perfect.
This gentleman?
I know. He sells Jimmy the steroids in the Special Olympics.
Does he really?
Yeah, that was his origin. And then they added Mimsy because they just made him a fucking Abbott and Costello generic character. Mimsy's great too. I love whenever they do those jokes because they're really not. I
didn't mean to.
I was about to say.
Bad.
Fucking okay.
I'm
well,
ruining everything. Podcast is over.
All right, cancel podcast. I'm looking for a new co-host.
You
George
get,
Clooney. I don't know what you're doing right now.
You should get.
Ooh, I should get Key and Peele.
I just watched Get Out for the first time last night.
Good Out.
Get Out.
Get Out.
If you don't like that, you can get
all
out.
right. There we go. Movie transition. You watched Get Out. What did you think of it?
It was fine.
What did you?
I didn't think it was as amazing as people said it was.
I think depends on what person says that, because I thought it was smart.
Yeah.
Like the choice was very interesting, and I could see the perspective and all that stuff. But because it is racial politics in the movie itself, a lot of people only applaud it for that, which I think there's a deeper subject to it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It was okay. I mean,
I thought it was good. I would think it was good because it could have been really bad. Like, I expected from the trailers, I'm like, this looks interesting, but they could pull this off terribly.
Yeah.
And I like the angle they took. I like that it was more so not really against, like, directly racist people, but people who are so, like, virtue signaling that they become racist because they put black people on a pedestal. Like, you guys are so hip. And you're the best.
I didn't know that the dude from Cabin in the Woods was in it. I like that. The dad?
The dad, yeah.
Yeah.
He was also in... What was he in recently that I was watching?
What's his name? Richard...
Yeah, he was in a movie recently. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen him in a while. And this was before or after I saw Get Out? I forget. But anyway,
like
Get
I
Out
have
came
to
out
see
earlier this
these.
year. I think I remember commenting on it briefly.
Bradley Whitford.
Get Out is a good movie. What'd you watch it on?
HBO Go.
Okay, if you have HBO Go, check it out. It's good. It's a really good first watch movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's the kind of movie that on your first watch you'll be really impressed, but the more you watch, you notice things. You're like, that doesn't line up anymore.
Did you watch Unicorn Store?
No, I don't know what that is.
Neither do I.
Okay. I transition of movies that fit in that good the first time you watch it, fall apart, and the second time you watch it. Well, not really fall apart, but get less interesting.
Don't you say it.
Mother with Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, I didn't see that. I heard it was terrible.
It wasn't terrible. Who did you hear was terrible from? Because I saw nothing but good reviews.
Jamie might have told me.
Who?
Jamie.
Oh.
He saw it.
Okay, well, it depends on the context, because from what I heard, I never saw a trailer from this movie. When it came out, I saw a bunch of people who I watched for reviews, and they were like, "Oh, this movie's really great, and it's interesting and fun." And
Isn't Javier Bardem in that?
Yeah, he was in it. But I just saw people saying it's a really good movie. There's scenes in it that are really fucking intense, and it'll make you uncomfortable.
Spoil it for me, please.
Okay, you wanna?
Yeah.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what I like about this movie, the movie's concept is it's hard to base it on. It's basically Javier Bardem plays this writer, and he's with his wife in this fucking country house, and he had a really popular, successful first book, and then he's working on a second book, and they're out in this house in the middle of nowhere, and the entire time he's writing this, she's working on this old house and building it up from nothing, and that's pretty much it. And then people show up to the house, and she wasn't expecting that, and it gets really chaotic from there. It's hard to fucking explain, because it's not really a movie that's about the story. It's about it's a lot of allegorical kind of storytelling. To just spoil the entire thing for you, it is retelling. It's a retelling of the Bible.
Ugh, next.
But not in the same way. It's more like it's using all the stories as very heavy metaphors. As I was watching it, there's really awesome scenes that legitimately make you uncomfortable. The way it's shot is perfect. I think it's a really well directed movie. But the overall story is not interesting. There's people I've seen watch the movie, and they're like, "Oh, it's so interesting, you gotta watch it twice." And then as I watch it, I'm like, well, I grew up and I learned Bible stories through church, and given that I know the origin of all these stories, I'm not really looking for clues the next time I'm watching. I'm like, oh, that explains that. So,
it's got a couple
when I was watching it, what's up?
It's got a couple of the Gleasons in it.
It does. No, I don't know. Well, I guess word of mouth. Some people said it was shitty, and somebody said it got a really bad rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And I don't really go on Rotten Tomatoes, and I just recently figured out how their reviews work.
Yeah.
And I usually use Metacritic. You know how Metacritic works, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just they compile the reviews from different critics and different publications, and they use their specific numbering system, grade system, whatever, and they apply it to their 0 to 100 scale, and then they average it out between the reviews. So then you'll get something like that, and I think it got a 74 when it came out. So that makes sense to me. That makes sense. So that's mostly positive. That's on the better side. But then somebody said on the Rotten Tomatoes page it's below 50% or something like that.
It's at 69 right now.
Is it? Okay. Well, when it came out, it had lower reviews, and somebody said it got a really bad rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which I didn't realize for a while. I realized it probably in the last year when a bunch of controversy about Rotten Tomatoes came out, because I never went there because I thought the site was gimmicky.
Yeah.
where they just take they use the percentage to average out positive and negative reviews.
Yes.
Which I really don't like that. I think that's kind of stupid.
Well, it's stupid because a lot of times, like, you can't give everything either a positive or negative.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really up to whoever decides whether or not, who reads a review, if it's positive or negative. Like, a lot of times, and plus, like, a lot of it is, like, really good movies have shitty Rotten Tomato scores.
Yeah.
And some really shitty movies have really good Rotten Tomato scores.
Here's a perfect example is the new Ghostbusters is certified fresh.
Yeah.
Which, what?
Yeah.
I get that, like, you can have a positive review of that. Like, on Metacritic, it doesn't have a great score. But that's because there's a positive review of it, but they're at the end of the day, it's a C-.
Yeah, it's even bullshit. It's certified fresh, but it's got a 74. Like, I thought certified fresh had to be, like, 90 or above.
That's, okay, you know what? Sony owns Rotten Tomatoes. So
It's bullshit.
It's bullshit. Sony owns Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, did you watch Stranger Things 2 yet?
No. Are we hyped about that? I really stopped caring.
Oh, I was hyped. I watched it.
Okay, go ahead and spoil it for me.
It wasn't as good as season 1.
I figured that.
There was one episode that was fucking terribly and horrible.
Is that the one where she goes with the biker gang?
They're not even a biker. They're supposed to be, like, punks. But it's, like, one Indian chick with, like, purple hair. I don't remember what color hair she was. A big black dude, a white dude with a mohawk, and then, like, this other, like, white chick who, like, giggled. And it was just, like, they had to, like, check off all the...
So she hung out with Antifa?
Basically, they were supposed to be, like, punks, but they didn't really, like... None of them were doing anything that was, like... They were, like, robbing shit, but, like, they're all too clean. They lived in this giant, like...
Townhouse?
Building that was all, like, you know, spray painted, but, like, nothing offensive. It was just, like... ugh, like, it's so cheesy.
What is Strange... I thought when I watched the Stranger Things the first time, I thought that was like a TV 14 or TVMA show.
No.
What is it, like a PG?
Yeah, I'd say it's PG.
Okay.
No, they say there's a lot of cursing in it.
Okay.
And there's a lot of kids
I always
cursing,
thought it was more
like, no
adult.
It's catered for, like, college-age kids.
I think so.
I mean, I wouldn't... There's not a lot of kid-friendly stuff in it, even though it's...
Well, they're now trying to sell it more towards younger, well, teens and kids now. But that's what happens.
It was okay. I didn't think it was as amazing.
I honestly, like, with the amount of time that passed, and after watching the first season, I watched it twice, and then when the first season ended, I'm honestly okay with this being it. Like, there's no... It really had a lot of, like, answered questions, and when you don't leave any, like, unanswered questions, I don't have an ambition to continue watching.
Yeah.
Like, I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to accept everything that happened here, and I'm not really interested in what anything means, because they explain all of the, like, otherworldly shit, and, like, the only question at the ending was, oh, where'd Eleven go? Why is he working with the secret government bullshit now, and the sheriff, and why are there bugs in Will's mouth? And I was like, these are not big enough questions for me to come back.
The slug in Will's mouth...
What's the payoff of that?
It becomes a demi-dog. So basically, he spits out the slug. Justin finds it. Remember Justin, the kid with the missing teeth?
Yeah.
Justin finds it.
Dustin.
Dustin. What did I say?
Justin,
whatever. Justin finds it in his garbage and keeps it as a pet. Because it's like a little sluggy kind of lizard thing. And then it keeps growing and growing and growing. And it's got the same head as the Demigorgon. But it's about the size of a dog once it's fully grown, so they called it... They named it, Dartigan.
Some Dungeons & Dragons or...
Yeah, or Shakespeare, I don't remember what the fuck it was.
Shakespeare.
And then it ends up escaping, and then... The main story is that Will keeps having these, like...
nightmares.
Upside down moments, where, like, he'll, like... He kind of sees, like, has a seizure, but, like, he's... back in the upside down, but it's where he's at in the real world. So, like, the first time it happens, they're at an arcade, and all of a sudden, the arcade's now in the upside down, and there's nobody else around him.
Right.
And he goes outside, and he sees this giant monster up in the sky.
So, it's just Silent Hill 3.
Yeah. A big monster in the sky, and it turns out the monster got out because 11 opened up, she got out of the upside...
The door.
It was just a monster that really had no purpose other than just to be the big scary monster.
Okay.
And 11 ends up basically turning into, like, the Phoenix Force, where she's, like, all telepathic, and she closes the gate and the monster's away back in the Upside Down. But then the last scene, we see that the monster is back, and then of course it cuts the credits, and then we'll figure it out next season.
Is it really just the show now of like, uh-oh, the big monster's coming?
Well, yeah, and then there was shit like the I forget what they called the fucking thing, but the shadow monster or whatever. And then of course there's like throughout the whole season it was like Will's having seizures. There's a new bad boy in town. There's a new girl in town. It's less about the monster than it is about the kids now. I don't know. It was fine. It just wasn't.
You mean it's less about the
Upside Down and the monster? It's more about these kids and their relationships.
Well, I figured that.
Because like 11 comes back and Hopper, the cop dude, has her like in this cabin in the woods that he lives at with her, and he doesn't let her go anywhere. Like she can't leave because if she leaves and the people find out that she's alive, then they're gonna take her or whatever. And then she ends up going to the school, and then she sees Will dancing with the new chick, and she gets all pissed off, and instead of like talking to him and telling him that she's back, she runs away.
You don't mean Will, you mean
Mike.
Mike, yeah.
Who the fuck? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of the shit was just like it kind of dragged on. It's like I want 11 back with the crew. Like that was, and she didn't join back with the crew until the second to last episode.
Oh, that sounds dumb.
Yeah, there was 9 episodes. She didn't come back until episode 8. So the first fucking 7 episodes, the kids are never really back together with 11, and it's you know.
I liked the first season because of more so about the pursuit of like finding Will, and there was the question of like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
But I feel like they answered too much the first season that they should have left more hanging.
Let me see what reviews it's got.
I'm sure it's got great reviews because everyone's super hyped about it.
You know, everyone has to say that Stranger Things is the greatest show ever. Just because
I think it's okay.
Did you watch Mindhunter?
No, I do want to watch it.
It's so good.
I've mostly seen movies recently.
Oh, what movie?
And I've watched a little bit of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Dude, I love it.
I love it.
Did you watch the episode?
I only watched, what is it, episode 5 we're on? Maybe?
No.
6?
8.
Really? I've watched up to episode 4.
I think
4 or 5.
Because I know The Deuce is over. It might be episode 9, actually. The Deuce is over, and The Deuce had 8 episodes, and The Deuce was before Curb. But I think The Deuce might have started a week or 2 before Curb.
Are you based on The Deuce? Because I don't know what we're talking about with The Deuce. I'm just going off Curb. And I think...
Well, Curb... The Deuce was another HBO show that I thought premiered at the same time as a new season of Curb, and they were both on Sunday nights. And
Curb started at the beginning of last month. They couldn't have 9 episodes yet, so...
Okay, well...
I'm sure we're on episode 6 now. But I watched 4 of the 6th episode. My favorite episode so far is the restaurant one.
was it the commotion? What was it?
Yeah, there was a disturbance in the kitchen. And I like the waiter who answers nothing. He's like, I am looking into it. I just want to tell you that there was a disturbance.
Everything's fine.
Everything is fine. Your
what
food
kind of
will be out.
I love Larry David.
Larry David is... I almost feel like this season, as much as... I like this season a lot. And I feel like the gap in time is non-existent because it just falls right back into it. But I feel like it's almost exaggerated. Like his character has just gone from 10 to fucking 12 of like just being nitpicky, exaggerated shit. Like that first episode was just every minute was just like yelling of like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
I love it. It's just like I feel like they're just building up, and I really hope this isn't the last season because I feel like they can just keep building to like a real big fucking final of just like everything coming apart.
You know, his contract is that he can film whenever he wants.
That's good.
Like it's only up to him whether or not he wants to keep going. So he says, you know, he could say that he wants to take another break for 10 years and come back in 10 years and do
I'm good with that.
Or he could say like, I had fun doing this season, let's do another one in 6 months or whatever.
I'm good with that.
This new episode last night was so fucking funny.
I gotta check it out.
It's called The Accidental Text on Purpose, which is a trick that I've used at times.
Where you send a text that you mean to send, but you say, oop, that was accident.
Yes. So, like, Larry freaks out at Funkhauser's girlfriend because they were at dinner. I think it was Funkhauser's girlfriend. They were at dinner at her place, and she served them tap water without ice.
Oh, my God.
And he was saying that the water was terrible, and he was like, is this tap water? And she's like, yeah, it's tap water. He's like, you didn't put it through a filter or anything? She goes, no. And he was like saying, this is fucking terrible. and then she ends up kicking him out of the dinner, and then he's playing golf with Funkhauser, and he tells Funkhauser to send her a text, because she's upset with him because he brought Larry or whatever, to send her a text that says, "Hey Larry, what you did at the party was really terrible. I can't believe you did that to, I forget the girlfriend's name."
Yeah.
And so he sends that, and she's like, "Oh my god, I know that wasn't meant for me, but thank you." And then it all explodes at the end, because Richard sends one to I forget whom, and then I think Jeff uses it too.
The accidental on purpose.
The accidental text on purpose?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good synopsis.
What else have I watched? I saw Trick or Treat for the first time.
Oh, how was that? I remember watching it a while ago, like when it first came out. Maybe like a year afterwards, because I remember renting it, but I don't remember the movie.
It's okay. It's the one with the little puppy kid.
Let's talk about some horror movies, because there's two I want to talk about.
Okay.
I
saw, because Jamie loves horror movies, so we watched a lot of them. I saw Creep, too.
Ooh, that's out?
Yeah. Well, we watched it illegally.
I mean, but that came out.
Yeah.
Like, it was made and finished.
Did you see the first Creep?
I saw some of it.
Okay, it was really funny.
Okay, I want to check it out, so don't say anything.
It turns out he's an alien.
Ooh, is this
pre-rec?
pre-rec?
I never saw the first Creep.
Is this pre-rec?
Pre-rec. Were there aliens in Rec?
I don't know.
I thought they were demons.
I don't remember. I might be thinking of Quarantine.
Isn't that the same thing?
Pre-rec.
Rec is VHS, right?
No, what? VHS is... What? VHS is that Trilogy of Terror shit.
Oh.
I watched Re-Animator, 1985 film.
Gay.
And it is great. Check it out.
Is it with the blue case or the green case?
Yes. It's with the green goo, because he puts it in the people.
Oh boy, look out for the goo!
I watched it, because you missed the party we had at my brother's house.
Yeah, I did.
I watched it before that. I watched it there. And then last night I had it on. I watched it while I fell asleep, and then I had a really bad nightmare about it. And I was like, this is pretty good.
Boy,
this is pretty great.
Frightened. I had to sleep with my teddy bear.
And then I watched Jason X.
Oh, I love Jason X.
Jason X is
the one in space?
Yes. That's fucking ridiculous.
What was the whole plot? Weren't they, like, sending him to the sun or something?
Something like that. It started out, they found it because Earth is ravaged and nothing is habitable. The movie starts at a fucking facility built at Camp Crystal Lake. To keep Jason. And then, like, the guy shows up and is like, we're going to transport him across the country. He's like, you can't do that. He's dangerous. You have to freeze him. He's like, I want him soft. That's what he says. He's like, I don't want him frozen. I want him soft. And then they go to take Jason. He slips out, of course, because they have him chained up in this, like, it wasn't even like a really fancy facility. It's like a fucking dark room in a warehouse. It's like they have him chained up there. They have one security guard comes up and he just like throws a blanket on his head for some reason. He's like, stare at this, motherfucker.
Stare at this.
Yeah. Oh no, it's like, stare at this, you ugly son of a bitch. And then he kills everybody who was trying to take him. Then they get frozen in the cryogenic chamber with the girl he was about to kill. He stabs her through their cryogenic chamber. She gets frozen with him. 400 years in the future, they brought him up to space to sell him, basically, or something like that. They wanted to make him like a carnival attraction because, like, he's from
to aliens.
He's like 400 years ago, and like people will want to see him. They'll pay to see him. I don't know.
I do remember. Didn't he dip some chick's face?
Yeah, that was the first kill. He
right.
Dips her in nitrogen, slams her head on the table, and then everybody on this spaceship for some reason is wearing belly shirts and fucking tank tops and shit like that.
And then he becomes Metal Jason.
Because he reconstructs and all that shit. And then at the end, he becomes a shooting star.
Oh my god! Does he really?
Yeah, because they rocking him out into space while he's strangling somebody or some shit. The first half I remember because I was like just sitting there watching it. Then I took a break and then came back to the second half and I fell asleep during most of it. But anyway, that's a funny movie. Check that out. I also watched some of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I haven't seen them in a while. They're still fun. Go ahead and check those out. Also saw It. It was
the
pretty.
New one?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I actually liked it more than I thought it would.
I liked it. It's a little long though.
I don't think it's long. I think the thing that impressed me the most is it is not. I mean, it's a pretty good book. The miniseries is not that great, but in terms of a story and how the storytelling is, you can't make that a fucking movie. That is just so unobtainable as a fucking piece of media.
What?
The book.
Oh.
It is just so convoluted and wrong. Like, I read some of it for the I read most of it, and I don't remember the rest. And our mutual friend Mitchell, he listened to the audiobook, so I listened to some of that with him, and then I talked to him about it. And I was like bringing up some parts, and just like this scene is just like a little too much, and then all this bullshit. It's just a bizarre story. The only reason people like it is the kid part, because it's very much Stand By Me. Bullshit. Goonies, Stand By Me at the time, that was huge, so it's like, yeah, this fits in line with everything. That's why this movie was so popular, because it's still like kids and shit like that Stranger Things vibe that everybody loves for some reason.
Yeah, I mean...
all I know is when the second one comes out, everybody's gonna hate it.
I don't think so.
I think so, because nobody likes the adult part. The adult part is just boring.
Everyone's talking about who they're gonna cast.
Yeah,
and they're saying they should cast Seth Green again.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna. I think people are gonna be disappointed by it because they're gonna be like, "Oh, like the fucking kid part," and then they're gonna give this one like just a bullshit review. What else did I see? I saw Thor. Thor Ragnarok.
So where'd you go? Did you go last night?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
With Mitchell?
No, I went with my brother.
Oh,
we went and saw it in the IMAX.
How long was Doctor Strange in it?
Was 8 minutes? 10 minutes? He has a good segment.
Was there an after credit scene?
There was one. I didn't stick around for the other one. At the last one, I was just like, fuck it. Yeah. After Spider-Man, I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm not waiting. I don't care. Fuck off. Go to hell. I ain't about this.
Did you do a finger wave?
I did a finger wave. I told fucking Spider-Man, fuck you, Spider-Man. Go to hell.
I watched Spider-Man on the plane up to Canada.
Homecoming?
Yeah.
What? How's that movie hold up in your eyes?
I like it. Although I didn't have headphones, so I couldn't listen to it. It was like on the seat in front.
I mean, you've seen it already.
I had seen it. I had seen it. And then on the way back, I borrowed a pair of headphones and I watched the beginning of Wonder Woman.
What do you think about that?
It was okay.
Can we talk about how shitty Justice League looks?
Oh my, dude, it looks so fucking bad. What's the bad guy?
Bugman, Giant Bugman.
Giant Bugman?
I don't know. They say it in the trailer. I'm not familiar with DC characters. Don't really care. Most of the shots they show in the trailer is from the final battle because you can tell because all the fucking sky is all brown and shit. And just looking at it, it's so fucking ugly to look at. I hate how it looks. Yeah, it is one of the least. Dirty. It is one of the least attractive like action movies I've seen in a long time. It looks honestly to me, it looks like a fucking mid-2000s Marvel movie.
Is it out already?
No, it comes out this week, I think.
There's showtimes
for this week. Yeah. I have been invited by a couple different people to go see it, and I rejected all of them. I'm like, I do not want to spend money on this. I'll go see it cheap. I'll go see it cheap and laugh at it. Actually, I don't want to give it to any of my money.
No, I'm looking at the people who are in it.
Ben Affleck. Yeah. Justice League is a movie about Batman, Wonder Woman, the Green Lantern, the Cyborg, and the Flash, and they all got to fight Giant Bugman because Superman's gone, and he thought this was the perfect time to take over Earth. But luckily for us, we have all the heroes, the famous heroes from DC Comics, such as Batman.
Oh wait, Superman's not even in it?
No, they're gonna have something at the end where he comes in.
Oh my god!
Because all the promotional art. And the fucking trailer is like, and we already know they did reshoots, which means that they had to put more scenes with him in it.
Didn't they have to like Photoshop off his mustache?
No, he had to shave his beard, and he was pissed off about it because he was doing that for a role.
I don't think so, dude.
So they Photoshopped it off?
I thought he had a mustache. Maybe this was for Dawn of Justice, but
that was probably for Dawn of Justice.
He had a mustache, and he said he couldn't shave it off. So they had to like.
The thing I heard recently is like because Joss Whedon came on as the director to finish it because
what's his face left?
Zack Snyder because of his daughter's family issues, which don't want to talk shitty. As much as I don't like his movies, I don't want to talk shitty on that because that sucks for him. But Joss Whedon came on as director and he's finishing up the movie and he called in for reshoots and what's his name? Henry Cavill is the guy's name.
Cavill?
No, what? He's not Jim Caviezel.
Oh. Maybe he is.
No, Henry Cavill, I think his name is.
His name is Billy Crudup.
Okay. He had to come in for reshoots, meaning that there are more scenes with Superman in it, other than flashbacks. And he had to shave off his beard. Cavill. I don't know. What did I say? Cavill? Yeah, that's fine. We'll call him that.
Cavill?
Henry Cavill. Don't care.
It does have 2 people from Game of Thrones in it.
You're gonna get so much. The new Mutants movie has Arya Stark in it.
I know, that movie looks so good.
Man. Actually, I saw a trailer for it. I didn't really care about what was going on in the movie, but I was just impressed that they're doing that.
A horror comic book movie with X-Men?
Like, it's in the X-Men franchise, they're like, we're not doing an action movie, we're doing a psychological horror thriller. And I'm like, that's pretty neat. That's ambitious. I'm trying to think, did I see any other movies? I watched a movie, and you checked a little bit of out as well, The Lure.
Oh, the movie was fucking out of its...
That movie...
outside of its
recommendation of the week. Go check out The Lure. It is a film that was created in the native land of Deutschland.
Oh, I thought it was from Poland.
Deutschland? It was Holland.
Holland?
It was Dutch. No, it was Polish. I'm kidding. It was from Poland. It's a Polandian movie. It's about mermaids. That's all you need to know.
Did you say Polandian?
The Polandian.
You mean Polish?
Polandian.
For Polandia.
Polandia. Yeah. That was a great movie. I enjoyed it a lot. Check that out. And Mike, anything else?
Check out Creep 2.
Check out Creep 2. I will check out Creep 2. Yeah, you get it. You get it. You know what we're talking about. Happy Halloween, belated Halloween. And shout-outs to Cole with Roadhead, his channel, Whatever Men. They're doing a lot of videos. Him and his friend Tyler. Check it out.
Are they?
Yeah.
What is it?
The Whatever Men. They do Let's Plays. They did a Halloween special video recently. They do a lot of fun stuff on that channel. Our fun young Canada boys. They hanging out, having fun. Moses again with the music, outro music.
How do they have so many
great
views?
shit? Because they got friends. Great shit. Check it out. That's it for this episode. Tune in soon for episode 14.
Who is this guy?
Who is this guy?